The Orlandi case, disappearance in the Vatican. The mystery no one wants to reveal. On June 22, 1983, a 15-year-old girl left her home in Vatican City to attend a music lesson. She never returned. Her name was Emanuela Orlandi, and her disappearance gave birth to one of the greatest mysteries in Italian history. A case that, 40 years later, continues to generate questions without answers. Clapperboard Chapter 1. A Vatican Girl. Emanuela Orlandi was born in 1968. At the time of her disappearance, she was 15 years old. Brown hair, a sweet face, and a bright smile, preserved forever in family photographs. She lived in a unique condition. She was a citizen of Vatican City. Her father, Ercole Orlandi, worked as an employee in the prefecture of the papal household, which allowed the family to reside inside Vatican walls, near Porta Sant'Anna. Despite this privilege, her life was normal. She grew up with her 4 siblings in a united and serene household. Her daily life revolved around high school studies and her greatest passion, music. She studied flute at the Pontifical Institute of Sacred Music in central Rome and also sang in a choir. Nothing suggested tragedy. The only odd event: days before her disappearance, she received a mysterious phone call offering her a job distributing Avon Cosmetics, a seemingly harmless detail that would later become crucial. Clapperboard Chapter 2. June 22, 1983. It was an ordinary Wednesday. That morning, Emanuela had taken a music theory exam. In the afternoon, she headed to her flute lesson. Around 4 p.m., she left home, telling her sister she would return for dinner. She exited Vatican City through Porta Sant'Anna and took bus 64 into Rome. Along the way, she phoned home. She said she had received a job offer, distributing Avon products at a fashion show, for a generous fee of 375,000 lire. At 5:30 p.m., her friends Raffaella Manzi and Maria Grazia Cassini saw her at a bus stop on Corso Rinascimento. They described her as agitated, speaking with a young dark-skinned woman with curly hair, a woman never identified. That was the last confirmed sighting of Emanuela Orlandi. She never arrived at her flute lesson. She never returned home for dinner. She vanished into thin air, in the heart of Rome. Clapperboard Chapter 3. The Disappearance and the First Calls. Her family reported her missing around 10 p.m. Initially, authorities dismissed it as a teenage runaway. But her brother Pietro insisted Emanuela was responsible, devoted to her studies. Something serious had happened. Jurisdiction was complicated. Vatican gendarmerie and Italian police overlapped, slowing early investigation. Posters with Emanuela's face soon covered Rome. On July 3, 11 days later, the case took a sinister turn. An anonymous caller with an American accent phoned the Vatican, claiming to hold Emanuela. He would later be nicknamed the American. This was the first of a long series of mysterious calls that would torment investigators and the family for years. Clapperboard Chapter 4. Theories and Labyrinths. Over the decades, the Orlandi case became a labyrinth of theories, some plausible, others close to fiction. The Banda della Magliana theory, Rome's powerful mafia in the 1980s. According to this version, Emanuela was kidnapped to pressure the Vatican over huge sums of money tied to banker Roberto Calvi, who was found hanged under London's Blackfriars Bridge in 1982. Enrico de Pitas, known as Renatino, leader of the Magliana gang, was repeatedly named as a key figure. In 2012, investigators even opened his tomb in a Roman basilica, but found nothing. The Vatican financial scandals. Another theory links her disappearance to the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano and the shady dealings of the Vatican Bank, IOR. Emanuela may have been a pawn sacrificed in a financial war. The attack on Pope John Paul II. Some suggest the kidnapping aimed to negotiate the release of Ali Agca, the Turkish terrorist who shot the Pope in 1981. The Americans' calls hinted at this scenario. Pedophilia or occult theories. More disturbing ideas involve alleged pedophile networks within the church or even satanic rituals. Often dismissed as outlandish, they nonetheless resurface every few years. Each theory seems both plausible and absurd. Each clue dissolves like fog when examined. Clapperboard Chapter 5. The Confession of Marco Exetti. In 2013, 30 years later, an unexpected twist. Roman photographer Marco Exetti, 59, publicly confessed involvement in the kidnapping. He handed investigators a flute, identical to Emanuela's, claiming it was hers. Experts also matched his voice to that of the American in old recordings. Exetti claimed the abduction was part of a complex international intrigue involving progressive factions within the church during the Cold War. But his story was riddled with contradictions. Investigators doubted his credibility. He never revealed where Emanuela's remains were. Many labeled him a mythomaniac seeking attention. Despite having the most concrete evidence, the flute and voice identification, his testimony did not close the case. Clapperboard Chapter 6. The Vatican reopens the case. For decades, the Orlandi mystery seemed destined to remain unresolved. But in January 2024, by direct will of Pope Francis, the Vatican officially reopened the investigation. An unprecedented move. A team of independent forensic experts was tasked with reviewing every document, testimony, and piece of evidence from the past 40 years, using modern investigative technologies unavailable in the 1980s. For the first time, investigators gained full access to Vatican archives, including files on financial scandals. They also interviewed new witnesses, people who had remained silent out of fear. Digital analysis of thousands of documents revealed overlooked connections. Advanced sound analysis of old phone calls isolated background noises that may reveal the caller's locations. The investigation is ongoing, and while progress is kept secret, there is renewed hope for truth. Clapperboard Chapter 7. The Orlandi Family's Fight. For 40 years, the Orlandi family has embodied extraordinary resilience. Her brother Pietro became the public face of the battle, vowing never to stop. Their father Ercole dedicated his life to searching until his death in 2004. Every June 22nd, silent torchlight marches fill Piazza Cavour in Rome. Pietro founded an association to collect testimonies and pressure authorities. Their campaign spread to social media under the hashtag #TruthForEmanuela. They turned private pain into a collective cause, a symbol for all families seeking justice for missing loved ones. Clapperboard Epilogue. A mystery that endures. After 4 decades of silence, half-truths, and dead ends, the Orlandi case remains one of the darkest mysteries in Italian history. A 15-year-old girl vanished in daylight after a mysterious phone call. Her name became a synonym for an unresolved enigma. This case is not just about crime. It intertwines Vatican politics, organized crime, secret services, financial scandals, and international conspiracies. It teaches us how thin the line is between truth and manipulation, justice and power. It shows us the shadows where light struggles to enter. And it proves that a family's perseverance can keep the search for truth alive against all odds. As Pope Francis's new investigation unfolds, one question remains. Are we finally ready to face the truth, whatever it may be? One thing is certain. As long as we keep talking about Emanuela Orlandi, her story will not be forgotten. And maybe one day, she will finally rest in peace.